I have a joke for you. What's the difference between the regular alphabet and the Christmas alphabet? The Christmas alphabet has I'm never gonna get sick of doing these intros. Okay, but seriously, the word Noel is the French word for Christmas, and it also happens to be a word that we're going to be lettering today. I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can create some really beautiful custom wrapping paper with your hand lettering on it. The best part about this too is that Kraft Paper is way more eco-friendly to use for wrapping your gifts than those like plastic coated fancy wrapping papers that people use. So ideally your family or friends who get these gifts from you are gonna keep this paper and reuse it, which is great for the planet. By the way, before we jump in, make sure you're subscribed down below because I put videos like this out twice a week, so you won't wanna miss them. Let's jump right in. Okay, for this video, tools-wise, you're gonna need a pencil, a black brush pen. This is the Koi coloring brush pen, but it could be literally any black brush pen that you want, ideally in a large tip brush. So this one, for example, has quite a large tip on it. You're gonna need a liquid chrome. This is Molotow liquid chrome pen, or any sort of gel pen in silver or white or gold that you can use for embellishment. So you could also use a Uniball Signo if you have one, a ruler, and of course some brown craft wrapping paper. Okay, step one is to roll out your craft paper. And you want it to be quite a bit bigger than what you need to use for wrapping your gift. So let's say your gift is like a little square and you know exactly how big the paper should be. You want to lay out the paper much bigger than what you think. So if I zoom out my camera here, you'll see that my paper is actually a lot bigger than what I'm going to letter on, which will probably be about this size. So the reason for that is that we're going to kind of letter off the edges a little bit, and you want it to look like it's running over the edges. So you've got your paper taped down. Now what you're going to do is take your ruler and your pencil, and you're going to draw the border of the size you actually are going to use for your wrapping. So just draw a light pencil line along those edges. Okay, so I've got my border of the size of paper that I'm gonna need to wrap my gift. The next thing you're gonna do is, again, take your ruler and you're gonna start drawing some diagonal guidelines throughout that for the layout of your lettering. So you can put this on any angle you want. I like to do it angled. You could also do it straight. I just think it looks really pretty on gifts when it's angled slightly. So you're gonna start in your top corner and put your ruler right against that corner. And I like to also keep my size of lettering approximately the width of my ruler, which makes it really easy. So you can just trace the edges of your ruler and then move it down on the same angle, leaving yourself a little bit of a gap for spacing between the lines. Again, just tracing over that width of your ruler. And do this all the way along your gift. Keeping in mind that you're gonna have to erase these lines later, so the lighter you make them, the easier it'll be. All right, now you've got your guidelines out. The next step obviously is gonna be to start writing. So if you've never done calligraphy before, I'm gonna give you a little quick rundown on how to write the word Noel, which is what we're gonna write. So essentially in calligraphy, what you're doing is you're pressing hard on the downstroke and light on the upstroke. So with brush pens, because they're flexible, you'll see those thick and thin strokes. So to write Noel, and you can rewatch this as many times as you need to before you jump on to doing it on your project. But essentially what you're gonna do is press hard on the downstroke for a straight line. And then you're gonna do a stroke that looks like this, where your pen is light up, hard down, and light up about halfway. Okay. Then you're going to draw your O. So hard down, light up, hard down. And then your E, starting from where you left off lightly, coming back down hard, light up, and then an L, light up, hard down, light up, and add on the 2 little dots over the E. So watch that as many times as you need to and try writing it on some spare paper. And then when you're ready to, you're going to jump onto your paper. So technically we should have been drawing, you know, an X height and an ascender and descender, depending on how advanced you are with calligraphy. I just didn't want to get that deep into this. So these guidelines are kind of like loosey-goosey guidelines that you're going to be able to use. But when you're doing stuff on wrapping paper, honestly, the layout of your letters and the perfection of them is not going to matter. Just the sheer volume of that much lettering on a piece of paper is going to look gorgeous no matter what. So essentially what you're going to do is you're just going to jump in, and I like to start in the middle because then I can actually just keep writing out from that as opposed to starting in the top and being a little bit confused. So start somewhere in the middle where you can put the full word, and you're going to write your word Noel. And don't worry that your L is running over the next line. Then add on your 2 little dots and keep going. Now at this point, you're going to notice that this is the edge of my paper, and I'm going to letter right over the edge. So that's going to get cut off, but that's totally fine. Same thing here. I'm going to start writing my N, and right away I can see that it's going to run off the page, which is totally fine. Now you're going to keep doing the same thing on every line. You can start with the lines where you're going to be able to fit full words. And don't worry about these running over each other. Feel free to just hop all over this sheet, starting and ending wherever you like, not really being too concerned about the overall layout. Now, when you get to areas like this where you want to start writing, like you want to be able to fill this up and it's kind of hard to letter backwards, just start off to the side a little more, about like if you take your fingers and measure how much space you use to write that first one, just move it down and know that you should start your N about here. So understanding that it's going to run over the edge like it is here. And again, just being willy-nilly about where you're adding these letters and just filling up the whole sheet. Okay, so at this point it looks like sort of a jumbly mess, but next you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut out the outline that you had originally drawn. And now you're left with this perfect piece of wrapping paper, the exact size you needed. So now I'm going to just tape this down. And I'm going to erase all of my pencil lines. And the last thing I'm going to do is use my liquid chrome or your gel pen, whatever you're using, and add some embellishments on not every word, but every couple of words, just to make it pop. And then, last but not least, wrap your gift. This is the most satisfying thing ever. So I am gonna wrap this book that I'm giving to a friend. And side note, this is a really great book if you're an artist. Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. So I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap it up. Pro tip, especially when you're using pretty wrapping paper like this, in my opinion, I love to use invisible adhesive tape. So this is like a runner of tape. You can get these at lots of places. This is a Tombow one, but you can get them at the dollar store, anywhere that sells craft supplies, really. So I use this to tape instead of taping on the outside. So if I tape along here, and then I add my paper and press it down, it'll stick in there on its own, and then I'll also tape this edge. As I'm doing this, I have a question for you guys. Are you a person who wraps all your gifts way ahead of Christmas or the holidays, or do you wrap them all the night before? Tell me in this poll. I am definitely a wrapper way before Christmas. I end up having my brothers every year ask me to wrap all their gifts on Christmas Eve, so mine have to be done way ahead of time. Alrighty, and there you have it, your own custom hand-lettered gift wrap. Oh wait, I forgot. One last thing. If you want to finish this off to make it look even more polished, grab your liquid chrome again, or your whatever you use to embellish, and add some little dots and snowflakes in all of the brown space on this paper. Now, of course, you could do those dots before you wrap your present. That would be the smart thing to do. But hey, we're not all perfect, are we? By the way, there are like a bajillion other ways that you can get creative and decorate your own wrapping paper. So if you want some more inspiration, check out this video next, where I talk about 4 different greeting card designs that you could totally also apply to wrapping paper. And I'll see you over there.